This episode is produced by Pet Fox Studios. Pet Fox Studios is a recording studio in Morris, Minnesota. Visit petfoxstudios.com for more information. Welcome to the Roasted Christian Podcast. I'm Bobby.
And I'm John. Here at the Roasted Christian, we like our ideas, how we like our coffee, roasted.
Welcome all you podcast listeners or whatever your media device. I'm starting that all over again because that's just total crap. Snap. Thanks everyone for listening. Really appreciate that you are joining us for our first ever episode of the Roasted Christian Podcast, whether you're iTunes in it, Google Play in it, YouTube in it, whatever your selection of choice is. We're super awesomely excited that you are joining us today. At least I am. John is completely indifferent. He doesn't care about anything that we're doing. Okay. So we have this podcast now that we're starting. You're listening, and we want to tell you a little bit about what we're doing and why we're doing it.
But first, who we are.
I'm Bobby, and I am accompanied by John, and we have another guy here who's listening to us and recording us. His name is Gabe. That's all we're going to say.
He's the evil mastermind.
Oh, okay. No. Well, I'm Bobby. We live in a town called Morris, Minnesota. It's small. It's out of the way. What else would you characterize Morris as?
Farms.
There are many farms around us. So we're a small town, about 3,500 people. We also have a college campus, bumps it up to about 5,500 people when all the kids are here. But yeah, we attend Morris Community Church. I'm an elder. John's an elder in training, and I got a few kids, all girlies, and big Yankee fan, sports fan. I'm also, my day job is a software developer for a manufacturer in town. But yeah, why am I here? Because I like talking about stuff. I enjoy talking. I enjoy arguing. I enjoy roasting people and ideas. Probably should focus more on ideas than people, but sometimes there's a little crossover. And we're really interested in Christianity and challenging Christian thought and ideas. And I am good friends with the next person who's going to talk, whose name is John. Go, John.
You think so?
No. Well, you give at least the illusion that I'm a good friend with you.
Okay.
We've known each other for at least 10 years plus. And I've been to your house a couple times. I think once you visited a person's house, you've already escalated the friendship level probably a little bit.
Probably.
And then the next question would then be to know how good of a friend I am. Do I have refrigerator rights?
I am not particularly protective of my refrigerator, so yes.
So that's a false positive for me, like the fact that I can go into your refrigerator?
Right. I'm not sure that says much about the level of friendship, but yes, you do have refrigerator
Well,
rights.
it says a lot about to me, Johnny, and when you come to my house, you have refrigerator rights.
Awesome.
Just so you know.
Yeah, so I'm John. I enjoy discussion and I enjoy controversy. So a lot of what we want to do in this podcast is kind of bring up potentially touchy subjects within Christianity, but maybe also in masculinity, and just try to bring up the other side of the coin, maybe promote some different ideas and just make room for a conversation to be had. Realize that we don't necessarily side with the side that we take on this podcast, but we do want to bring some issues to the forefront, and it's not always going to be serious. A lot of these roasts, I think, are a little bit tongue-in-cheek. We realize that some people take this stuff really, really seriously, and we don't necessarily do that.
Yep. So we want to find our own voice. So I've been inspired by some podcasts out there. I know John has too, and we feel like we have something to add to the podcast nation for what we have to say, what we think about things, and we want to entertain, we want to challenge your thinking, and we want to roast stuff but hopefully all with the heart of Christ. We are Christ-centered. We want to be, and we appreciate feedback in any form to let us know what you think about subjects and what's challenging you, what's not challenging you. And yeah, we just like talking and figuring things out. It's easy. It's a lot easier to figure things out in community than just sitting and contemplating sometimes, I think. So actually hashing stuff out is
both
fun.
of us process better when it's verbal and out loud. And so
And I may not even know what my opinion is or what before we get started. So we could just start a subject and I'm just going to be spitballing and have no idea what's going to come out, and the next day be like, yeah, I totally don't think that anymore because I thought about it some more and I think that, whoa, what I said was just totally wrong and crappy. So yeah, so why is it just clarify,
what
why
about
is it the
roast?
roasted Christian? Yeah.
Well, we both enjoy coffee for different reasons. I have always pretty much liked it. Bobby has his own story to tell on that, but we kind of wanted to well, first I home roast my own coffee. I buy green coffee beans and then I roast them myself, and that way they're super fresh and super tasty. And we kind of wanted to incorporate the idea of roasting coffee and kind of translate that into roasting ideas. And hopefully that will give us an aromatic blend of brew to consume or something.
Cool.
Yeah. So, Bobby, why do you like coffee?
Well, I like coffee. I started liking coffee because of shame and guilt.
Always a good reason.
I think those are definitely underpraised, underappreciated methods of motivating people. Like, I'm kind of being silly, but maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, so in ministry settings, everybody drinks coffee, and I grew up hating the flavor and taste of coffee and the smell. And
right, even the smell, which I think is weird.
Yeah, I didn't like the smell either. There was nothing about coffee I liked. I even worked at a coffee shop, and yeah, that's its own set of stories.
You make great life decisions.
Yeah. So in ministry settings, everybody drinks coffee. All these elder meetings, all these conferences, all these things, they're all gathering around the coffee, and I just couldn't stand it. And it was also kind of felt like I was excluding myself from being really in with people because they're like, well, if
you don't have a cup of coffee in your hand, you're an outsider forever.
Yeah. That's what it felt like. So I literally started drinking coffee just to join in.
So what was your first cup like? Was it absolute torture?
Yeah.
Wow.
It sucked. But I also decided that it was going to be black, and I'm going to only learn to appreciate drinking black coffee and not with foof in it, because if you're going to do it, you do it right.
Like a man.
Like a man. Like a Band-Aid, just rip it right off. So I went for black, and sorry, there's an expression that came in my head.
You can never go back.
Oh, boy, he went there. So, yeah, I just forced myself to drink it, and over time started liking it and appreciating its different benefits outside of just being included into people's conversations a little bit better. I mean, your poop changes. That happens.
Yes, it does.
So you got that going for you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But, okay, so yeah, peer pressure for Bobby. That's why I started drinking coffee.
So the moral of that story is peer pressure sometimes works out.
Yeah, as long as it's not... Well, I can't...
If it's for spiritual reasons.
Yes. Like, I can start smoking dope, but as long as it's for spiritual reasons, it's probably okay. Yep, I agree. Totally 100% agree. All right, so what are we drinking today, Johnny?
This is once more, for the first time, El Salvador home roast. I'm not even sure where it came from in the country, but it's pretty awesome.
So how do you roast your coffee again, John?
I have a popcorn popper, like $20. The little hot air deal spins the beans. Do about 2 ounces of coffee at a time. Takes about 7 minutes. per batch.
Wow. That's exciting. It's not really,
It
but it
is
tastes
not.
good.
Yeah.
So
it's actually really tedious, but
Mhm.
it's a little cheaper than store-bought and about 2,000 times fresher.
Yeah, this tastes pretty good. I mean, not like knock my socks off amazing good, but it's certainly grades above Folgers or what's that, Maxwell House stuff. It's considerably better than that.
Yep.
Those two companies now will officially never be a sponsor because I just said that. So yeah, that's
unless
what
they
we're
want to
drinking.
be, in which case.
And I'll drink the Folgers Kool-Aid if they make a Kool-Aid version that's just pure sugar coffee. It'll probably taste
They
better.
might.
But yeah, that's what we're drinking. So yeah, the format kind of the Roasted Christian. We're gonna talk a little bit about coffee in the beginning, a little bit about what's been going on in our weeks, and then we're gonna dive into our fresh roast topic. Maybe we'll do an interview. Maybe we won't. Doesn't matter. We're just going to do our thing. And then we'll have kind of like segments at the end, something different, hopefully, each podcast to be interesting or thought-provoking. But right now, we're going to dive into the fresh roast.
So we have 3 different roasts this time, actually. We had been thinking about bringing up politics and spending the whole time on that, and we realized it kind of sucks to talk about that long. Like, it's a bit of a downer. So we do want to talk about politics a little bit, but we realize that it's kind of a mainstay in conversation and news right now, and we'll hit on it, maybe bring up some new stuff, maybe not, but we don't want to spend the whole time on that.
No.
So first, we wanted to talk a little bit of tech, because both Bobby and I are into tech.
Yeah.
And we both have varying opinions on different products. The main difference being Mac versus the PC.
Yes.
So you just got your Mac back.
I got a Mac. So I have historically been a PC user my entire life. My dad is an IT professional. I began in systems analyst work out of college, all working on PCs, doing server stuff, all that kind of whiz-bang things. Now I'm doing development. And when I go to these developer conferences, they're
not that exciting, Bobby.
Yet.
Don't
Developer
pretend.
concert!
Whoa!
Woo! Let's listen to them type. Like, well, I don't know what you're going to do. But you go to these conferences, they all have Macs.
Dang.
And I mean, it's just, I'm like, what am I missing by doing the Mac? So the more you look into the software that's available for developers to do developer things, Macs are the place of choice. Even just Apple products or Apple apps that you want to make, you have to have a Mac to make them.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to make something for Apple, you got to have a Mac. So I was like, all right, let me start diving into this Mac world. Also, I had this honkin' PC for work. There's this like HP 19-pound like powerhouse. While it was sort of fast, it was just so stupid heavy. Yeah. And I'd take it with me every day back and forth to work, on the plane, whatever. I hated it. So I said, I'm going to go for the Mac, and I'm going to get the lightest thing they have. I don't care how powerful it really is. It's probably still going to be good enough. I'm going for the lightest. So I have a MacBook, the latest MacBook. It's lighter and smaller than the MacBook Air. I love it.
But, Bob, it only has one port.
Yes, it has a USB-C port, and that had to be repaired because I got stuff jammed in there, and my power cable wouldn't go in. So yeah, you have to get the power adapter. You have to get an adapter that will plug into the one port, so you can plug in a USB or plug in an HDMI.
And that's something I really can't stand about the Mac universe. They require an adapter for everything.
Yeah, but nowadays you're not doing anything else. I don't, like, in my daily job, I'm not plugging in anything. When was the last time I ever used a USB stick? I don't use USB sticks anymore. In the cloud. Go download it. Done.
Sure.
Like, I don't, so what other USB device do I need to plug in? My portable CD player? Like, that's not happening anymore. So there's,
all right, well,
I don't
make
feel
it
like
practical.
there's a USB thing I'm putting in there.
Yep. So I play Rocket League on the PC.
Okay.
And my
Practicality, people.
Yes, so
And
practical.
higher importance is Rocket League. It's
Hey,
a video game.
You should check
right?
it out. It's a great game.
Okay, it's a game.
This is a. I've got an HP. I think it's a 13-inch. It's only like 4 pounds. It's awesome. Anyway, I use it to play Rocket League, but obviously I want a bigger screen, right?
Yeah.
So I want to hook it up to the TV, right?
Absolutely.
So I need an HDMI cable, right? How are you going to do that with a Mac? This is literally plug and play. The other thing
I have
that
my adapter. My adapter
Right.
has the
you
HDMI.
have an adapter.
Yes. It easily plugs in HDMI, boop, boop, and
Right,
I'm
but-
on the TV. And what's beautiful about that versus the PC, it just instantly duplicates my screen up there. I don't have to go into a setting and be like, oh, my duplicate, why is it a black screen? Why is it not extended? Do I have to identify my screens because I don't know which one is which?
Oh,
one
mine-
got smaller, one got bigger. I
Mine
just plug it in, it
automatically
always works.
duplicates. I actually don't prefer it that way. I wish that it would automatically extend.
Well, shut up with your point. My point was better.
All right, your point's better.
I get it. I get the
Anyway,
point.
I did not have to shell out more money for an adapter, is my point.
Yes.
The second
I didn't
point,
either. Work did.
Well, yeah. Somebody had to pay. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, that's true.
Second point is I want to use a controller. I don't want to use the keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
So I plug in my Xbox 360 wireless controller, which has a little USB dongle thing, wireless, that you plug in. It's a literal plug and play.
You're still
onto
using
the PC.
USB.
I'm still using USB.
See, I go to the Bluetooth route. You Bluetooth
with
that
controller.
sucker. Why not? Use Bluetooth. Then I don't have to connect anything. It just goes, "Oh, I found you." Ha ha. I'm connected. Bluetooth. Max got it. That's the thing I'm learning.
I'm
but
pretty
I'm
sure
not,
PC has a Bluetooth as well.
Yeah, probably. But you probably have to download a driver. And how many grandmas know how to go download a driver?
Are you calling me a grandma or?
I'm not calling you a grandma. I'm saying, does your grandma know how to go download a driver if her USB, Bluetooth enabled, whatever wireless controller for when she's playing you in Rocket League doesn't get
Bobby,
correctly
I currently
installed?
have no grandmas. So
Wow, you just went to the death route.
you left me
It's like-
no choice.
Oh, jeez. How's your heart feel, Johnny?
Yeah.
I currently have
pretty
no
tender
grandmas.
right now.
Oh my gosh. Well, if your grandma was alive and playing Rocket League, could she do it on a PC faster than she could on a Mac?
I don't know. That would actually be an interesting test.
That would be an interesting test. So, I'm not crazy proficient in the Mac yet, but there are things I like, and there are definitely things I don't like. Things I like: instant duplicate desktops. I just take 3 fingers and I swipe to the left. Oh, I got another desktop. I can have as many of those as I want, and I can just these screens are on this desktop, this desktop, this desktop. Now there used to be like these PC tools that were out there that you could download and do that, but it was still very manual. It wasn't
Sure.
like really easy. But Mac is like, oh, how many desktops do you want? Just keep swiping and moving things over to better organize your life.
Mm-hmm.
Really love that. I love the mouse pad, built-in swipes and controls and things like that. Just really simple and fast and easy to learn. Things I don't like, some of the keyboard commands. So I don't have I have a delete button, but it's a backspace button.
Ooh.
So to delete, you have to go function delete, like to delete, like keep the cursor in the same spot and delete going kind of forward.
To do what the button is called, you can't actually
You
use
can't
the
actually
button.
do it. Yeah. And like highlighting to the right and to the left an entire row of things, you have to do like shift command and then the arrow button. It's a little
that's
weird.
universal.
Yeah, but that's just shift. I have to add commands. See, like I'd used to be able to just go like that, and what it does is it jumps all the way to the top of the page,
okay.
just doing shift in the arrows. Instead, you have to do command shift in that. It's like, that's kind of weird. But once you learn it, I guess it's not so bad. It just takes a while to learn it. I got to constantly search, all right, what's the equivalent keyboard
Right.
shortcut in a Mac?
And that's kind of my beef with the Macs. I guess I do very much enjoy their aesthetic. I think the build
Can't beat
quality is phenomenal.
Oh. And their service was amazing.
Yeah.
They sent me a FedEx 2-day priority thing box for my Mac. I sent it to them free of charge. They fix it. They sent it to me 1-day priority back. I got amazing.
But I don't enjoy the fact that there is a learning curve. For me, the PC has always been intuitive, and I've never been able to figure out the Mac OS. And that could be because I'm not forcing myself to try and learn it. Like I have no real motivation to try and learn it either. But anytime I've sat down on it, and even the earlier, the mobile iOS stuff was just a mess. Like I remember the first iPad was just like, how do you do anything on this? Like,
yeah, but the first iPad, you were also trying to think of it like a PC, and they were trying to change the market to be like, it's apps. Just click the thing, touch it, and then go. So
no. That wasn't the case. In that regard, I much preferred Android, which was also a mobile iOS, and was, while it had its share of quirks, I thought was more intuitive. My whole point is just, like you said, you have to search for the Mac OS equivalent of all of these functions and commands and all this stuff, and I'm sitting here being like, it all comes natural when you've got a
But is
PC,
that only
man.
because I grew up with a PC and have to find the equivalent? If I grew up with the Mac, I'd have to do the opposite.
That could be.
What's the PC equivalent, right? So, okay, so another thing is, as an advanced user, so I'd consider myself an advanced computer user, an advanced Windows user. I'm not crazy awesome, but I'm advanced. So, like, let's say I want to maybe skirt around some firewall stuff and put in my own DNS IP, so that way when I plug in, hey, go to Netflix.com, it doesn't get blocked by the coffee shop I'm sitting at.
Or your workplace.
Or I didn't say that, okay? I didn't say that, Johnny. I would never do that at work, disclaimer.
This is the Roasted Christian.
Yeah. So, do you know, as a basic user, how to do that in a PC?
Nope.
No. In a Mac, you go to your little network icon, and then there says open network stuff. And then it just says, hey, do you want to change? Like, basically, just keep going. Oh, advanced DNS. It's right there, 2 clicks away. In a PC, you got to go to network settings. You got to find the correct connection, because there's probably multiple, even though they're probably exactly identical. You have to find the correct connection, right click, go to properties, then pick IP version 4 instead of version 6. Make sure you're picking that one, then go into advanced settings. Then you can statically set your IP. Like, who knows how to do that? Unless you're taught that, you don't know. With the Mac, it's actually a little bit more intuitive. You can just go to the little network icon and you can find it in 2 clicks. I really like that. That's really sweet.
Let's talk about cost.
Yeah, I figured you'd go right past that wonderful, beautiful point of finding. The search too is also, now maybe Windows is getting better with Windows 10, but the searchability in Mac is really good. Finds your apps, finds the things you're looking for really
I've
fast.
not had a problem with Windows 10, but I don't have a comparison point. I don't use both operating systems.
Yeah, you do command and spacebar, brings in a spotlight search. You type in anything, it'll find it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way that Windows 10 is set up. There's a little search button on the taskbar, and anything you
Cortana
search.
spaces, man.
Oh,
she freaks out.
Cortana's horrible.
Yeah, she just like.
Yeah, I only use it for the search function.
Yeah.
But it is good for that, and part of that is born out of necessity, because the way that they've redone their start pane, whatever you want to call it, is just messed up. I can't find anything, so I have to search it.
All right, cost.
Now, your laptop didn't cost you anything.
Correct.
But it cost work a bunch.
Roughly about $1,800.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's also lighter. The boot time on this, I'm going to go to another pro here. The boot time, turning it from off to on and logged in with a password, is faster than right now the boot time of an iPad. It's lightning fast. Love that. It does everything I needed to do. It can run 2 VMs, and I can still do everything as fast as I want. So I even, like, for the cost being, it's touted as the $2,000 Facebook machine for new college students, which is, maybe that's true. But as a higher user, the cost per benefit, I think, is outweighs a PC. Also, the support is amazing. Like, you have to pay for like advanced Dell support or HP support or Lenovo support, and all of those companies, it's different levels of support, different levels of what they cover. Different Apple, you know what you're getting, and it's amazing and it's fast. And they're like, hey, just send it in. We'll take care of you. Don't worry about it. Oh, I don't have to worry about it? No, don't worry about it. We'll take care of that. Oh. And then they send me a coffee and like a scone. I sit and relax, and they take care of me, John.
So
Does HP take care of you, John?
HP doesn't need to take care of me. I can take care of myself. So I think one of the things that the Macs got an early corner on the market with was the solid state hard drives. So you got speed on the boot up.
Oh, yeah.
All that kind of stuff, super thin, super light. The PCs were behind. They are now, I would argue, caught up and much cheaper. So,
how are they caught up?
Because you were talking about boot times. This HP has similar, if not faster, boot up time.
Oh, we're so racing.
We can race.
All right, right now. Shut it down. You guys are going to have to listen to this, so we're going to have to talk about our times about what we're doing. We're getting a video of this. So we're going to get a video. Maybe we'll post this to YouTube or our Facebook.
Are you already restarting?
I'm not restarting. I'm shutting it down. Why would you restart?
Okay.
See, like maybe you don't even know how to do that in a PC. I don't know.
Oh, look, mine's already off.
Off.
Look at that.
Sure, whatever. You can do whatever you want with off. But Mac is like, hey, let me just think about what you want. I'm going to be pre-thinking about stuff right now for you. Like for the next time you want. That's what it's saying. It's actually saying, I'm adjusting all settings because I know what you want and I think about you. All right. So Gabe is going to be videotaping this, and Johnny, I'll even let you do the honors of touching both power buttons at the same time.
Oh, this is going to be tricky.
Okay.
Where is yours?
Mine's right here.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to reach that.
Okay. So we'll do like 3, 2, 1 push is what we'll do. Okay. Or should we do it? We have a timer, and as soon as it hits like 45, you push.
Okay.
The top one. Ready?
2, 3, 4, 5.
Hopefully mine went. That'd be pretty lame if it didn't. Okay.
Boo, 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 boo.
Do you have a password?
Boo. 10 minutes or 10 seconds. I'm up.
You don't have a password. You're not in yet. Get your password in.
I'm in.
Damn it, Johnny. What's your password? The letter A? I didn't even hear you typing.
It's a 4-digit PIN password because PCs rock. Let me also remind you that mine cost $600.
But mine's a Mac.
Chrome is open.
Okay, yeah, I just clicked while you were saying Chrome is open. I clicked on Chrome and Chrome is open. And a VM box is open. And now my Logos Bible software program is open.
Well, that's reassuring.
And I'm going to load iTunes right now.
But point proven.
Okay, iTunes is already up. I just clicked on it. It's up. So while maybe yours is like, yeah, I can get on a bike and pedal. It's like, yeah, but can you pedal uphill? No. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm a Mac. Take that.
You got me, Bob. I can't pedal uphill.
I have that analogy sucks, but actually it probably doesn't. It's pretty good.
That's pretty terrible.
Okay, it sucks. Now I have to get back to our notes. Where were our notes on this episode? What are we talking about next?
You hate Meghan Trainor.
Okay, I don't hate Meghan Trainor, but I got a big problem with Meghan Trainor. Okay, so she goes on this latest...
Who is Meghan Trainor?
Okay, Meghan Trainor's the all about that bass girl. All about that bass. About that bass.
Because
No
she's got a
trouble.
big butt, right?
Supposedly.
Okay.
Okay. Here's my problem. Her latest video that came out about her new song called Me Too, I think it is.
Right. So what's her message, though?
Okay,
like,
that's what I'm getting at.
What has she been saying all along?
Can I get there?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm going to get there. Okay.
Well, don't talk about the contradiction until you've talked about what her message
the
is.
beginning of the video talks about her message
okay.
or what she wants
All
to
right,
say. All right. So she is a poster child, or at least a self-proclaimed poster child of being yourself and being proud of who you are. Like, don't be afraid of your
stuff,
image.
yeah.
Don't be afraid of your weight. Don't love who you are. Love what you're about, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so her latest video that comes out, she apparently sees it and notices that her waist is extremely photoshopped and her legs are photoshopped by the production company of the video. So she goes on Facebook or Twitter or something like that and does this huge like rant about it and says, we're working with the company, we're going to take it down and we're going to get the real version of me up there because you guys deserve the real me. You guys deserve something authentic, right?
Yep.
Here's where I got a really big problem with it. The words to her stupid song that she is doing this in this video, her lyrics to the chorus is, if I was you, I'd want to be me too.
Oh.
I'd want to be me too. I want to be me. Okay, back to the repetitive choruses, but me too, me too, me too. If I was you,
That's
I'd want to be
discussion.
me too. So 180 in her music is the image that she is trying to portray to everybody else. So, hey, guess what? You're not good enough, by the way. I would want to be me too. But no, don't worry. You should be good enough. It just seems like this total. It just seems like hypocritical. What is she, only 22 years old too? Like, just like, I can't take it. Pick a message. It's like she gets a pass in her lyrics or gets a pass in the music she's selecting to do. Only for the money? Why are you doing it?
I would say probably yes.
Now, artists oftentimes are like, well, listen to what I'm trying to convey, listen to what my real message is, and lots of times that's expressed in their lyrics, in their music, or whatever. But don't tell me you should be proud of who you are. You should not be ashamed of your body. You should not be ashamed of who you are. You are a beautiful person. And then you go on and sing for everybody to be repeating and thinking in their head while they're driving their car. Yeah, if I was me, I'd want to be Meghan Trainor too. Yeah, I would want her life instead of my life. Yep. Yeah, her everything she's got going on is awesome. Man, I so want to be her instead of me. Crap. I'm roasting that. Like, get my lighter out.
I'm sure she feels the burn right now.
She better feel the burn. I want this to go viral. So our listeners, start tweeting Meghan or hashtag
just
Trainor is a hypocrite. I don't know.
Meghan
Figure some out, hashtag, and let me know what you're choosing to be.
Be as mean as possible.
We need to roast this chick. I'm sick of this. Yeah.
So I'll maybe play devil's advocate a little bit here.
Oh, please, Johnny.
Meghan Trainor I would argue is a pop star, not an artist. So in that regard, she's off the hook.
She's a pop star, not an artist.
Secondly,
someone else probably writes her music and she just sings it.
Yeah, she's a sensation. It's not like she's here to contribute some meaningful sense of like artistry, right? Like,
but that's where the hypocrisy comes in, because she's trying to convey a message outside of the realm of her music and how she wants to connect and make money to people. She's trying to convey one message, and then how she's making money is completely opposite message of what she's trying to say outside of that. You know what I mean? Yep. That's where I say, like, she's a hypocrite.
All right. Secondly, I think her entire career was born out of, I'm not even sure what you want to call it, a phenomenon, an anomaly, something like, just come up with this really weird song about like being proud about your butt, and like then like put out a couple albums and see how much money you can make. Like I don't think that there's actually much sincerity in her.
Oh,
like,
sure.
The whole thing, and you could maybe say this about most pop artists, but the whole thing I think is just, it's a machine. They find somebody who can fit the bill. They slap her on like stage and in front of everybody on magazines and whatever, and
she can sing really well.
Yeah,
she has talent.
And it's not the traditional skeletal looking pop artist. I mean, like, so like if I were to have like an actual relationship with Meghan Trainor, would I be mad at her for her hypocrisy?
You're darn right. You better
probably not to the extent that
I am.
Yeah.
Oh, I would totally let her have it. If I were her dad, she'd be hearing it from me.
Okay.
Big time. Now, just to also clarify, I have no problem. Actually, I love the message she's sending about being yourself and being proud of your body, being proud of who you are, being proud of what my opinion is how God made you to be.
Yeah.
You are a beautiful person no matter what your size is, shape is, color is, whatever, okay? That is my perception. That is my position, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the way you then like make a living, what you communicate is opposite of that. That's just I don't get it. I don't get the I can play two sides of the coin and benefit from both. I just don't get it.
So you can't just chalk it up to the industry and
You can chalk it up to wherever you want. I'm roasting her for doing it. Like, everybody gets to make a choice. I'm going to either buy into what the machine is doing or I'm going to be countercultural of the machine, right? She's trying to communicate a message that's countercultural to the machine. You don't need to be a skinny girl.
I don't
need
actually
to be
agree
Taylor Swift.
with that.
You don't need to be these things. You can be whoever you want to be, but then when you listen to my music, you still need to be me. You still need to be rich. You still need to be beautiful. You still need to be whatever.
Right. My argument is I think the entire package, including the contradiction, maybe not intentional, is part of the machine. They were going after something that was different from the norm in order to get popularity and momentum.
So you get the shock value so
Yep.
people listen to you, and then you can do whatever you want, make something that's catchy, and then you can still make money and you look like a great person.
Yeah. And it's not like I disagree. Like I think it probably is hypocritical. But I think it just comes with the territory a little bit.
But is that a pass? That's like the baseball and steroids issue. Like, well, everybody was doing it, so I chose to do it too. She still got a choice to make, right?
Yeah.
So I'm roasting her. Meghan Trainor.
You are roasted.
Okay, that worked out really well. Just throwing that in there. What are we at? Award-winning songwriter. She's a two-time. What does that say, Gabe?
Well, Berklee College of Music's performance program and New Orleans Songwriters Festival winner. And
Berklee award winner, New Orleans Songwriters Award winner. She has written songs.
Songs from Hunter Hayes, Rascal Flatts, R5.
What? Did she write Me Too? We got to find this. If she wrote it, then I'm really going to not like her.
Well, she's a former Berklee summer student. Let's not confuse ourselves here.
So is that like Phoenix degree online? Like is a Berklee summer student?
Let's find out more.
Okay.
Years before Meghan Trainor was all about that bass, she was a Cape Cod teenager spending her summers working on her craft at Berklee.
She co-wrote Me Too? So, okay, Gabe says she co-wrote Me Too.
Okay, she did a 5-week summer performance program at Berklee. So she did not attend
That's like
school.
summer camp.
Yeah.
That's summer camp for people who are talented at music.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I did a 4-day baseball camp at the University of Minnesota. That doesn't
You played baseball for the University of Minnesota?
Exactly. That's what well, I did, but I did play baseball for the Cougars.
If
the
you write
Gophers.
it correctly, you don't have to lie, and you get a lot of popularity.
Yeah, I can be an award-winning songwriter too. Johnny, can you make me an award right now? The Roasted Christian Award for Songwriting of 2016. Meghan Trainor, you're a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Go find a hole and jump inside it. There you go. There's your lyrics. Off the cuff. I'm the award winner for Roasted Christian Songwriter of the Year. All right. What's our final topic? What do we got?
Okay. Our final topic is politics. Kind of just the system in general. Although,
Drink something, Johnny.
ugh,
Do it.
you could maybe cut that.
Don't cut it. Keep it.
Keep it.
Now I'm saying keep it, and you don't know what it is if we did cut it. But
Right.
Johnny was coughing.
Okay, so we just found out that Hillary, I don't know if she's officially clinched the Democratic nomination, but she officially has enough delegates, that's the word, to be the nominee.
Okay.
So basically we're looking at Trump and Clinton.
Yeah.
And to a lot of people's minds, they are both pretty much the worst, least qualified people to
Be running for president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the face of that, what is a Christian to do?
Okay, so I consider myself I don't know why I said that like that.
I consider
I
myself.
consider myself a Christian. I don't know what to do. I have an idea what I am going to do,
All right, so here
but
are
I
the
don't know what to
options.
tell other people to do.
Sure. Here are the options as I see it. You can pick one of them, basically choose the lesser of two evils.
Which makes you the devil by picking one.
Right.
Right?
Basically,
Okay.
you are endorsing Satan.
Mm-hmm.
The second option, and let's just be honest, not everybody agrees. Like, there are some people who legitimately support one of those candidates.
Yeah.
Both you and I think,
Do
cannot.
not.
There's just too much whatever in both of them. It's
Mhm.
like, no way. The second option, not vote.
Yep.
Third option, third party. So first option, lesser of two evils. That to me as a Christian is a really horrible way to go about election.
Yeah.
I prefer to endorse someone who at least mostly lines up with my, you could call it,
Beliefs?
moral code,
Yeah.
belief system, worldview. Specifically because there are, I think, some non-negotiables, and that for both of us is the abortion topic.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I am starting to kind of apply the non-death or the non-murder factor to a wider sphere, more than just babies. Like, maybe let's look at refugees. How are we treating the poor and the homeless in the world? Because ultimately it is not just about America and its well-being for the Christian.
Yeah. So I was actually thinking about this. I'm going to throw this at you, right? The abortion topic. Now, I am anti-abortion, 100%.
Yay.
But now this is a point for discussion. Don't crucify me, all of the people in our church. Okay?
Bobby, you're going to hell, whatever you say right now.
God gives us a choice in everything, whether to sin or to not to sin. If a candidate supports women's rights to choose whether or not to have an abortion or not to have abortion, to exercise that choice, whether or not it is legal or not, is essentially what the candidate is doing. Is that wrong? They're just saying, you know what? I'm going to let them choose. God does the same thing. You know what? I'm going to let you choose. You can choose right, you can choose wrong. Now, whether they make it easier to make the choice or harder to make, I don't know. God made it pretty easy for us to make a choice. So it's kind of got me thinking about the topic itself, just like is the fact that they support pro-choice a 100% now deal breaker, because I'm offered a choice every single day to do anything. Now, Hillary, I can totally see a candidate saying, I'm in favor of pro-choice, but let me tell you, in my home, the choice is have the baby 100% of the time. I don't believe in abortion, but I believe in choice. I've heard of candidates saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Because they want to remain consistent maybe with their party or whatever. Maybe it totally fits in with their beliefs, whatever. But the fact remains, is being pro-choice a 100% deal breaker? Is it not have similarities to how God allows us to also choose?
I would say that there is more than just a hands-off approach to the way that government has been treating the abortion issue.
Okay.
There's different incentives for companies who offer different types of all that
Sure.
kind of stuff. It's no longer about, like, will you be thrown in jail if you have an abortion?
Mm-hmm.
It's easing the blow of killing your baby to the point that it's no longer significant.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and it's also a culture. Like you are
Yes.
trying to establish in the minds of also people that this is okay.
Yep.
That's what I definitely don't have I have a big problem with.
Yeah.
Excuse me. That yes, absolutely, you should have the right to abort the fetus, because it is just a fetus. It is just like, once it starts getting in that realm, like, yeah, your perception is This is wonderfully. This is an okay thing. God does not say. While he gives us a choice, he also tells us what's okay and what's not okay.
Right. It's never in question what
Yeah.
the right choice is,
Yep.
even if he does present a choice. Okay, so moving on, kind of taking another
All right, yeah,
side
I took us a rabbit trail, but that's okay.
the lesser of two evils. Is it okay, ethically, I guess, to vote strategically? So, practical here. You hate Trump, you hate Hillary more. Is it okay to vote for Trump so that Hillary doesn't get the nomination?
In our current society, I would actually probably say it's okay to do that. I just don't know if I could. Like, I really see the argument for both sides. I really do. Like I got to pick the lesser of two evils. In my mind, the vote is an endorsement, but I guess as long as you consciously can decide, like, this vote is not an endorsement, but I just can't let the other side win. I can see that being a legit option. Just, I don't know, in my heart, like, I just can't do that. I really don't like either candidate.
Right. And the real rub comes when okay, so in this example, you're voting for Trump to prevent Clinton. What happens if Trump wins? You're still stuck with a guy you don't like.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do about that?
Yeah. Well, either way, like, if I don't vote, I'm stuck with a person I don't like.
Yep.
If I vote, I'm stuck with a person I don't like. So then does that, I guess with that being the instance, oh man, does your vote even matter? This is big. It's hard. I could see the third party thing, but it's just as good as not voting. Voting third party is
I
right
think
now
the problem
the same
we have
as not
now
voting.
is that there are many people who are discontent, but there's no one for the discontent to rally behind.
Yeah.
To present a viable third option.
And I disagree with the notion that because you have the right, you need to exercise it. So you have the right, like, it's your duty to vote. No, it's not my duty. I definitely have the right. You're absolutely true. And it's a wonderful right that I get the privilege to be able to vote, to have a say. But right now, my say is you both suck. And I don't want either of you. So I'm going to exercise not voting because I don't like either of you. That's also my choice. Don't like.
Is that ultimately effective?
Oh man, I don't know.
I've been.
But what's the effect I want to have? I don't want either
that's
of them in there.
For you, I guess.
But I don't want either of them in there.
Right. So does withdrawing your vote? Okay. So right now, I think the last election season was like upper 50% of eligible voters in the U.S. Actually turned out for the president, or to vote for the next president. That is basically the bottom of the barrel for developed nations.
Mm-hmm.
And I will admit that the curve is skewed a little bit because some countries do force you to vote.
Yes.
You will be fined if you don't. But my point is, so we're at like 55% voter turnout. Basically 1 in 2 people go to vote.
Yep.
You don't like your options. Lots of extra people stay home. All of a sudden, the 2016 election has a 40% voter turnout. You're still dealing with a two-party system.
Yep.
The candidates will never decide, well, only a third of our nation voted for us this time, so I guess we can't win. It's going to happen. So my question, how effective is a non-vote? Is it a safe way of escaping blame for endorsing one of these terrible candidates?
Mm-hmm.
Or is there a more effective option?
I'm trying to think even like more long-term past the election and the effects of America. When I die and I'm in front of my judge, I can't give him a good reason in front of him to say, yeah, here's why I voted for Trump.
Yeah.
Like, this is why I was for this. This is why I supported it, because I didn't like Hillary. Well, I'm like, I don't see that conversation going well. Something about it just says, you know what? Yeah, God, I suck. I sucked that one up. I'm sorry. I would feel like I would need to repent if I vote. Like, does that sum it up? Like, if I endorse it, putting a vote
Right.
down, I feel like I would need to repent immediately of checking the box.
So your stance is that ultimately you are motivated by the eternal consequence or responsibility you have as a Christian.
Yeah,
for
ultimately
your
it's
vote.
me and God, not me and America.
Right. Okay.
So I'm thinking that long term.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why it's just about impossible to me for vote for anybody who's like pro-choice, because hey, they're for killing babies. And when I meet my maker who designs everybody, and he says you were for killing the things I designed and have chosen,
Not cool, man.
not cool beans.
Yeah, I agree. I think we are eternally responsible for those actions. It does bring up another question. I don't know if we have time for it, but would there ever conceivably be a candidate that checks all of those moral boxes for you? To what
you're right.
extent
Yeah.
are we willing to
Compromise.
Yeah.
Yeah, that changes for each person. I really think it does. It's situational. And me as a voter, change and grow and mature over time to what I value and what I devalue, and what I think Holy Spirit's saying and what he's not saying. And if you think Holy Spirit is saying Trump is the man, you probably have an earwax problem. Just throwing that out there.
It might
right
be a spirit, but not the Holy Spirit.
It's full of holes, your spirit. All right, let's jump. I think that wraps up our fresh roast.
Yeah,
for the
hopefully
day.
that gives our listeners enough fodder to maybe carry the conversation.
And you get a little bit
in
of an
other
idea what
places.
we want to do here. We want to roast some ideas and talk about ideas, challenge your thinking, challenge our thinking. Hopefully we're a little bit entertaining. But we're going to end with a segment, and then we're going to sign off. All right, this segment section is going to be hopefully different each week. We'll have different fun things. Maybe I lead it, maybe John leads it, maybe we both do it together. But our first opening segment, I call it, You're Doing It Wrong. There are athletes that frequently attend the night establishments that have pumping music, throbbing bodies, and
Bobbies.
throbbing bobbies. That's the nickname for
Yes.
things. And
That's the nickname for you.
yeah, that actually is my nickname, is the throbbing Bobby. So athletes frequently attend nightclubs, strip clubs, clubs they like to go. Athletes also frequently get stabbed or shot at these nightclubs. Athletes, you're doing it wrong, okay? Recently, Denver Broncos Aqib Talib was shot in his lower right leg and was treated at a Dallas hospital while he was at a nightclub. This got me thinking, hasn't this happened before? Hasn't players just been stabbed or shot or done something bad at nightclubs? Is this a pattern that we're seeing? Yeah, it's a pattern. Just search into Google. You'll find lots of wonderful stories about other athletes. Like, let's take Knicks forward Cleanthony Early was shot in the leg during a robbery outside of a Queens strip club because some masked men demanded his gold. How about a Vikings player? We're in Minnesota. Let's talk about the Vikings. Let's see, a apparent gang-related shooting at a nightclub involving a Vikings defensive lineman. Indiana Pacers forward Chris Copeland stabbed and 3 arrested, including 2 other NBA players at a Manhattan nightclub. And then, of course, a very famous Ray Lewis trial in 2000 after winning the Super Bowl in 2000, celebrating at some clubs. Ray Lewis was arrested in connection on murder charges after a murder event happened late into the night at a nightclub that he was at. Apparently somebody got killed. He runs into his limousine. They flee the scene. Don't know if part of his people in his group were involved or not, but Ray Lewis charged with murder at another nightclub. Athletes, what the heck are you doing at nightclubs anymore? Why do people go to nightclubs, John?
For entertainment.
Yeah, they're stupid. That's why they go to nightclubs. Athletes, get away from scenarios where there are more guns than people sometimes. Why are okay? So Aqib Talib also apparently we find out, is this right, Gabe? He shot himself. It's a self-inflicted gun wound.
Oh boy.
To start, athletes, don't bring your own guns to nightclubs. You're a professional athlete. Why are you bringing a weapon? The only thing that can happen is you use the weapon. Does that end well for anyone?
No scenario.
No
ends
scenario.
well.
You using your gun helps anything, right? Unless it's like Homer Simpson, let me open my beer can. Boom! And you shoot it off the top. Let me turn off the lights. Boom! Like it just... athletes, stay home. Go golfing.
Golfing is great.
Bowling is popular at...
You don't need a handgun to go
at night.
golfing.
No, and you don't need a gun when you bowl either.
Yeah.
Like, just go bowling. Do something a little bit more, safe. Like maybe this just goes for population in general. Like nightclubs, you might need to stay away from. Athletes, you're doing it wrong.
So I think we've learned some powerful spiritual lessons from this podcast, Bobby. The first being that sometimes peer pressure is a good thing.
Yes.
And if you're an athlete, just stay away from strip
Stay away
clubs.
from nightclubs. Stay away from strip clubs. You should... You know what you should do? Go home and buy Macs for underprivileged children. That's what you should be doing.
You're rich enough, if you're a professional athlete,
Exactly.
you can finally afford a Mac.
Yeah, don't buy a gun. You can finally buy a Mac. All right, this has been the Roasted Christian Podcast. I'm Bobby.
I'm John.
Thanks for listening.
You're welcome.